Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today it's time for us to review FEZ on the Nintendo Switch. This review was originally written by me, so I've got no one else to hide behind. All the delicious flack in the comments is mine alone. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. One of the original indie darlings in the eyes of many, FEZ is a game steeped in a whole bucket's worth of history and intrigue. 9 years after its initial release and no sign of a sequel as promised by its creator before getting abruptly cancelled, can FEZ still dazzle the new generation of Switch owners? The answer is yes, but let's just pretend you didn't already know that, because otherwise this is going to be too short. FEZ begins with you playing the role of Gomez, a sprightly little chap who says a little bit less than naff all. After responding to a request to meet the aged adventurer of Gomez's two-dimensional village, our mute hero is gifted a small FEZ, which allows him to warp his 2D world with 3D impudence. Sadly, this has the slightly irritating side effect of tearing reality apart at the seams, which we're sure you'll agree is a right old nuisance. Gomez has to shuffle off to find 32 cubes that make up the almighty hexahedron, a doohickey that somehow keeps the world from collapsing in order to prevent just such an occurrence. Oh dear. These are often found split up into further cubes, 8 of which count towards one of the 32. Are you keeping up? In order to reach these cubes, you'll have to platform throughout the world, changing the perspective in order to reach otherwise unreachable areas. You see, each time you pivot the world 90 degrees, you're presented with another entirely 2D perspective that Gomez can traverse with zero depth. This means otherwise distant platforms can be forced to line up, granting you access to higher structures, as well as doors that were just flat out not visible in any other way from any other angle. This is where, quite literally, the entire game lies. You might play the game for an hour and find a challenge that seems entirely impossible, and you'll assume you get a double jump or something at some point in order to let you reach that thing. But nope, you're stuck with what you've got, matey person. You just haven't figured out what you need to use it to do the thing with. It's this simplicity that results in a countless number of those moments that are so important in puzzle games and what makes FEZ such a joy to play. Puzzles vary in difficulty fairly significantly, but most of the greater challenge comes from a second version of the collectible cubes you so desire that are called anti-cubes. That's right, as well as the 32 standard cubes, which are often split up into 8 mini-cubes, you'll have 32 anti-cubes to find as well, should you wish. As previously hinted, these anti-cubes are generally much harder to work out or even find, but are entirely optional. There are even some frankly insanely challenging red cubes that you can find as well, but again, you'd never need to, which require skills such as an understanding of binary code. No, we're not exaggerating. The reality-bending nature of the game is still wildly impressive even 9 years down the line, and the variety of ways in which FEZ uses its singular core mechanic is nothing short of masterful. Much like Nintendo's own philosophy towards gameplay, there's one idea here explored to the nth degree, and without it ever growing stale. There's even a good chunk of replay value should you want to go through it again, but we don't want to spoil exactly why that is for those that haven't played it. Visually, FEZ is also super charming. Bright colors, dappled lighting, and even a Game Boy-inspired aesthetic in the sewers make it just lovely to look at, if a little simple at times. Performance is also a perfect 60 frames per second, which isn't particularly surprising given the game's vintage, but we did notice a few visual glitches here and there, as well as 1 or 2 instances where objects didn't behave as they were meant to. These were very rare and never impacted our enjoyment of the game or ability to complete puzzles, but they were noticeable. Earhole-wise, Disaster Piece's soundtrack is an absolute treat, and is something that we've even enjoyed outside of the game on long drives. Remember long drives? FEZ is a fun, challenging puzzle platformer fit to burst with original ideas and unique gameplay wrinkles. Its puzzles bend reality and even leach into our own world on occasion, but aside from a few select mega challenges, never stray into the category of too obtuse or even unfair. A few visual and mechanical quirks stop this from being a perfectly polished experience, but these are outweighed by its charm and other wonderful qualities ninefold. It's another one of those games you have to play on Switch, and it couldn't be more at home.